What kind of a worldview should we hold to? I dismiss the question because of the word should. I also dismiss the question because of the word we. There is no should, and there is no we. Each of us needs to define for ourselves our own worldview, not have it imposed on us legislatively by dictate, by dogma. It's up to us to take personal responsibility for our own lives and our connections to each other. You say that worldviews are supposed to answer fundamental questions about the purpose of life, and you include atheism. That's disingenuous. Atheism is not about the purpose of life. Atheism is about non belief in God. Your entire premise is faulty. Atheism doesn't answer the question of origin, where we come from. Atheism is a non belief in God. Morality isn't a matter of belief. Asking people if they believe in morality is absurd. Now, one can take personal responsibility for creating their morality, or one can abdicate that responsibility and put it on some punitive deity that's going to hurt them if they don't comply and obey. Again, atheism is non belief in gods. Therefore, my morality is not informed by a deity. It's defined and informed by the influences of people around me, things that I've read, and my personal choices. I forgot to add that I do not believe there is objective morality. My experience teaches me, from what I've seen around me, that human beings have created morality as an evolutionary feature to help protect the group, and that none of us agrees on what morality is, and that morality tends to be very situational. For instance, your God demands genocide, slavery, and the rape of children. That's your morality. The meaning of life is what I choose it to be. I am responsible for creating meaning in my own life, and I am responsible for being purposeful in my contact in the lives of others. I do this completely by free choice. It's what I choose to do. I do not do it because it is imposed on me by some authoritarian figure who is going to punish me eternally if I do not comply. I am not coerced into my behavior. I choose my personal responsibility. My destiny is to return to that from which I came, which is the universe. I am star stuff. I am created from the molecules, atoms, and subatomic particles that came out of the births and deaths of stars. And eventually, that's what I will return to. I hope to leave a small, modest legacy to pass on to my fellow humans in future generations, but I don't expect to have very much impact because I don't have very much social influence. But it is my responsibility, by my choice, to behave in the world as ethically as possible without imposing myself on other people as your worldview demands. My worldview is livable because I don't feel any guilt or shame for the way I conduct myself in my life and my impact on other people. I'm not abusive. I'm not cruel. I don't hurt other people. I don't try to take advantage of them. I don't open up websites under the guise of offering some sort of moral counseling in order to achieve personal fame, to promote a philosophy of guilt and shame, or to earn a living. I don't do what I do for self-promotion, but because I choose to believe that it is the right thing to do. The fact that your argument suggests that people would have to take their way of being in the world and put it on a shelf to go outdoors, to step out into the world, tells me that your worldview seems to require hypocrisy and closeting. My worldview requires that I go out and live my life with honesty and integrity, without shame, without guilt, and without hiding, except when people like you threaten my life because I am an atheist and because I am a queer. Otherwise, I have no shame, no guilt. I will only stay closeted to protect my life. My worldview is completely verifiable. Millions and billions of people live the way I do and have done throughout history without need of a crutch or a whip of some god to threaten or cajole. We don't need what you seem to need. Yes, my worldview is logical. It's also pragmatic. What you're calling my worldview is completely logical. It's pragmatic. It leaves a small footprint. It's beneficial to my species and to other species and to the environment of the planet. You're jumping to a lot of conclusions about why people would not answer your questions. So far, your questions are a little bit foolish and simple minded, of a very narrow point of view. I hereby your arguments for why people wouldn't answer these questions, that you're making a lot of assumptions about other people, that you're being quite accusatory, and that you're being very condescending toward people you don't even know, but think you do because you've been taught to fear, disrespect, and hate atheism. Now you're insinuating that people wouldn't want to study another world view because of a prior commitment to hang on to their old ways of thinking. I'm sorry, but I have to suggest to you that this is complete projection on your part. It's not us. It's not we who have the problem, sir. It's you. You are clinging desperately, it would seem, to an antiquated worldview, trying to find arguments for it, and being insulting to people who have different ways of looking at the world than you do. You're really threatened by us. To cling to a prior worldview because of a raw supposition and commitment, you would feel sad for us? Sir, I feel sad for you. I mean, my gosh, you cite William Lane Craig. He's been debunked and disproven up one side and down the other, and you are desperately clinging to him for an authority, for a source to go to? The Big Bang is the most logical and well documented explanation for the creation of the universe. I do not believe it was caused by somebody. Do I think it caused itself? I do not know. It may be a multiverse situation. It could be an expansion after a contraction. I don't know is an answer. It's a good, sound, logical, rationally based answer. I don't know, and neither do you. What you're defining as the fine tuning of the universe is just change over time, like when water flows over a rock and corrodes it away, and the rock tumbles against other rocks, and little bits are chopped off, and it gets sanded down and it gets smoothed over. Things change over time. That's what evolution is. That's what cosmology is. Why is that so frightening to you? The initial conditions of the Big Bang do not require extreme fine tuning, as you put it. You are arguing for the existence of a God, and you are setting up the question. I don't agree with you that there was any extreme fine tuning in the initial conditions of the creation of the universe. I think it's preposterous for you to even suggest such a thing. Now you're condemning the argument of a multiverse as philosophizing at a cosmic level. Well, what do you think religions are? Philosophizing at a cosmic level. You say the argument for the multiverse doesn't have any doesn't have any objective verification. Well, neither does your Bible. You just said if we disagree with your proposition that the creation of the universe was extremely finely tuned and that the existence of the universe now is finely tuned, that we're not, quote, really reading at all, end quote. So you're just dismissing anybody who disagrees with you as ignorant. What?